Hi everyone, welcome again to getting started with blockchain data visualization. We have Aminat here, who is a software engineer, data scientist, and a technical writer with a passion for data, blockchain, and AI. She has experience in building data informed products, and she's currently the data science lead at her company. If you're interested in these topics, feel free to engage her. And yeah, over to you, Aminat. Take it away.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, now. Welcome, everybody. My name is Aminat Amusa. I'm from Lagos, Nigeria, and I am a data scientist and I work for an IT company in Lagos. So I'm very excited to have you all here. And as much as I'm sharing knowledge with you, I hope that I am able to also learn from everybody too. So our topic is getting started with blockchain data visualization, and I think we are going to really like learn a few things in this short period of time that we're going to be together. I know a lot of people are vaguely familiar with the term blockchain, whether they have heard it at an event or from one of their family members or from friends. And so I'm just going to dive right into what blockchain is. Blockchain is a distributed ledger of duplicates, and for duplicates, it's a distributed ledger that think of blockchain as a Google spreadsheet. And this Google spreadsheet is not only on one computer, it is shared across numerous computers and they are all connected in a network. So, and each transaction, every action that takes place on this ledger is stored in real time. And it is it's one of the major points, or one of the advantage of blockchain, is the fact that it is immutable. It cannot be changed, it cannot be modified. Once data has been deployed, and once data is on the blockchain, it is forever. Yes. So we're going to dive into use cases of blockchain, and we're going to talk about the current applications for blockchain that people are using. When I introduced myself earlier, I mentioned that I stay in Lagos, Nigeria, and I'm going to use an example for international payment. For the current financial system, for traditional financial system, if I was to receive money from overseas, I would need to either go to PayPal or go to Western Union. For PayPal does not work in Nigeria. So if you are to send money from overseas to Nigeria, you can't. I'm unable to receive money just because I'm in Nigeria. And if my option was to go for Western Union, I will need to wait for days, like 5 days, before the money gets deposited into my account. So one fascinating thing, and one thing that I absolutely love about blockchain, is the fact that I can get paid instantly through cryptocurrency, either in Ethereum or Bitcoin or USDT. And I might be speaking a lot of gibberish for people that are not familiar with cryptocurrency. But cryptocurrency, think of cryptocurrency as currency like dollars that we use, or naira, but these are not actual currencies like they are digital currency. So they are people use for payments. They have lots of use cases, and for and also blockchain is also used in NFTs. So on NFTs have been like the hottest blockchain application since 2021. Like 2021 brought in a huge wave and a rise in digital items that are sold. They are sold online, and it's really taking the world by storm. And I'm sure that quite a number of people are familiar. Yeah, maybe they have edits, or they have actually interacted with people that utilize NFTs. So NFTs are simply digital items. They can be music, they can be pictures, they can be gifts, they can be videos, and they are sold on the blockchain. meaning the data, this music, these arts, these videos, they live on the blockchain, they are stored on the blockchain. So meaning they cannot be changed once they are on the blockchain, and anybody from anywhere in the world has access to it. It's that transparency that is so it's so it's so interesting and fascinating about blockchain, because thanks to blockchain, customers can now claim sole ownership over their most desirable asset. I mean, with and blockchain, artists have access to more audiences because they can go global in an instant. It's easier than trying to sell art traditionally in a gallery, and maybe people need to be physically there to touch the art. But now artists have it's giving it's bridging the artists to their collectors, and also collectors to beautiful art that they admire. And also, we have use case of blockchain, a real-time IoT devices. So currently in IoT means Internet of Things, and Internet of Things meaning things like things that send um things like, I'm going to use example of devices that use IoT, like your doorbells, your Apple Watch, your alarm. Yeah, they're IoT devices. And IoT has millions of applications, and there are also many safety concerns that the data that my Apple Watch is getting from me, is it safe? And these are also presented an opportunity in blockchain, because because data that is on blockchain is very safe, because the fact that it cannot be mutated. Nobody can. It's very hard for the data that these IoT devices generate. They are stored anonymously. So even if hackers, like, what are they looking for? They will not even know where to start from. So blockchain is infused with IoT, and it has a higher level of security to prevent data breaches, and by utilizing transparency and to make sure that our technology remains smart. And there are also quite a few number of companies that are currently using blockchain infused IoT. An example is Filament, and they create software and microchip hardware that lets connected devices, like their devices are able to share the same network, and they are able to operate in real time. And another use case of blockchain, the anti-money money laundering scheme. So I mentioned earlier that blockchain is transparent, meaning anybody can see transactions that take place on the blockchain. So if I am, for instance, I'm a government official, and I say, okay, I spent um $2,000 on this particular project. If the transaction took place on blockchain, it is there. So people can't exactly like that. Okay, I spent 5,000 naira instead. It's not something that you can change and try to game the system. That's not possible. The way you can just edit an Excel sheet, and yeah, people do that. So it's one of the use cases in as a money laundering scheme, when data is sent directly to blockchain. It's not mutable. It's just it is easier for everybody to get access to it. And smart contracts. So smart contracts are like regular contracts, and except that they are digital contracts, and the rules of the contracts are enforced in real time on the blockchain. So for instance, a seller and a buyer, I want to sell an art, and a buyer wants to buy my art. So there can be rules in place, there can be contracts in place that says, when this I want to sell my art for $5,000. So when the buyer pays $5,000, that's when the art gets released to the buyer. So rules like this are what gives level of accountability. So or there's this trust that blockchain helps both, and peace of mind that blockchain gives both the buyers and the sellers. So, and blockchain-based contracts are becoming more popular as sectors like government, healthcare, and real estate industry are discovering the benefits. And we have a company is currently utilizing smart contracts, and one of them is Media Chain, and they use smart contracts to get musicians the money they deserve. And what they do is, by entering, so by artists are able to enter uh, a transparent contract, and so they can agree to higher royalties. And currently, Media Chain was acquired by one of the largest streaming giants, Spotify. So it was acquired by Spotify in 2017. That's to show you the future and what is quite possible with blockchain. So we're going to go next to, when I was talking about smart contract, this is like a pictorial representation. We can see there's the buyer. If we were to go through the traditional system, we have like lawyers and brokers and insurance in between just for you to get an house or something. So, but for smart contracts, when smart contracts are involved, there's just laws that are enforced in the contract that, okay, when there are conditions that are specified, that when this happens, do this, and it's easy, it's simple, and it makes life better for everybody. So, blockchain analysis. What do you mean by analyzing data on the blockchain? What do you mean by blockchain analysis? So, blockchain analysis is the process of collecting, is the process of analyzing, the process of identifying, and also gaining insights from data on the blockchain. So, analytics is very powerful as a whole. And for someone like me that is data inclined, and for people in the audience that are data inclined, imagine seeing data is something that gets me excited. And now you're telling me that I have access to a terabyte, petabyte of data that I want, and I can just access it at a glance, just like that. So it's really like a data professional dream. Yeah, just so it gives access to not only like companies that want to monitor what is happening on blockchain, but also individuals like you and I. And well, analyzing blockchain data gives allows you to gain valuable insights to what would have been hidden in traditional systems, like in like banking or insurance. And this transparency that you get, these insights that you get, can help a lot in like various sectors, because regulators can have full visibility on illegal transactions, and they're able to track movements, and they are also able to uncover identities of criminals over time. And companies are able to have full visibility over transactions made by either their vendor or third parties, and they are able to ensure legitimacy of the claims that, okay, what are you selling, and is it actually what you're selling that you're actually selling, or are you giving me a fake? And individuals like you and I are able to have visibility on what smart money is doing, meaning on what big people that have huge investments in cryptocurrency, in why are they selling this at this time. This can give you insight and help you to either trade better, or if you're just someone that just looking for information, it can help you to make better informed decisions, which levels the playing field for everybody. So, blockchain visualization. So if you notice, I made in the previous slide we had blockchain analysis and blockchain data visualization. You're wondering, okay, what's the difference? So there's difference. For visualization, when we say visualizing data is different from analyzing data. Visualization is a part of analysis. So when you are visualizing data, that's when you are trying to translate data from its raw form, either from tabular form, into something that is visually compelling, something that um, people can easily see what is going on in your data. So their visualizations are usually represented either in graph formats or charts or tables. And due to the abundance of data available on the activity on the blockchain, it can be very useful to simplify aspects, and and also provide insights to what is happening. So analysis is different from visualization in the sense that after visualization is done, that's when you need to start piecing the puzzle together. That's when you start, okay, I plotted chart of the price point of Ethereum this in this particular visual. Then I'm not saying that, okay, the price fell on this day, and also um in this particular period of time there was this. You're able to piece together the puzzle. That's when you start digging deep. Analysis goes beyond creating visualization. That's when you start digging deep into the whys. That's when you start asking questions. So presenting the blockchain data as graphs or timeline visualization makes it accessible and makes it comprehensible for the layman. It helps analysts reveal patterns of unusual activity hidden in high traffic volumes, instead of just looking at tables. I mean, when there are millions of records. So then we are going to look at popular blockchain analysis companies. So these are companies that are currently providing blockchain analysis as a service. There's chain analysis. They provide blockchain insights. They provide blockchain information, like blockchain data, to companies, so it helps them make decisions, and also it gives them idea on trading patterns and what is happening. And for Conium and NFT base, they mirror what big people, what big investors are doing with NFTs. Which NFT are they buying? Which NFTs are they holding? Which NFTs are they selling? So, all these companies that I've listed, they are using blockchain analysis in one way or the other as one of their main products. So when you want to get started with visualization, the first thing is you need data, and meaning you need to collect your data somewhere, somehow. Where do I get blockchain data from? So the first point I'll talk about is getting your data from NFT marketplaces, meaning you can see records of what people are buying in this particular um, marketplace. So when NFTs when NFTs are sold, they are marketplaces, that's online digital marketplaces that people can go to buy or to list or to sell their product. These are the major ones that I put up. So LooksRare is one of the NFT marketplaces that we have, an OpenSea. So LooksRare is more of mainly for Ethereum NFTs. Ethereum NFTs are listed there. Then OpenSea, it's both Ethereum and Solana NFTs are listed. So when you want to get, you can get data from OpenSea using the API. So all this, I've added links. So all these are links to the API docs. So when I'm going to share this slide after this presentation, so that people can just go and click these links, and it's easy. I can just do a request, send a if you are a programmer, you can just do a get request, and voila, you have your data. So OpenSea has Ethereum and Solana NFTs. Then Magic Eden is majorly Solana NFTs. So if you are curious about, okay, what is the volume of sales for Ethereum NFTs versus Solana NFTs, I think this APIs can give you an idea into what you're looking for. Then also, you can get your data from Blockchain Network Explorer. So this for Etherscan, this for Ethereum, when you want to get insight into what's happening on Ethereum network. So they provide real-time data for you, meaning you can see the exact transactions that happen at a particular time or a period of time at a like just with a simple call to their API. And also we have scan, which is for Solana network. So if you want to see transactions that have been taking place on Solana and Solana network, these are not just NFT network in the sense that even coins that are Ethereum that are bought and sold within periods of time, you can also see. And BlockDataPy is for Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, yeah, you will also get information on Bitcoin and Ethereum network on BlockDataPy. And we have crypto exchanges. You can also get your data from crypto exchanges like Binance or Coinbase or FTX. So these are also links to their API docs where you can go and use the URL, use their URL, their API URL, and you can send a GET request and yeah, load your data. So then moving on. So for people that are not programming inclined and getting data from API, they're not very used to it. I've also added visualization tools. So these are blockchain visualization platforms. They already have the data plugged in. So for Dune, all you need to do is, if you're familiar with SQL, just write SQL queries on their platform and get the data that you want on their platform, and you can plot right there. You can plot right there on their platform without having to get the data on your system first or anything. And same thing for SMED and Unidata. They provide data, blockchain data as a service. So blockchain and all of them have free versions that you can use. Yes. So tips on how to create outstanding visualization. So we have talked about, I've gone from collection to, okay, so after you collect your data, what next do you do? So after collecting your data, you're supposed to clean your data. And cleaning is, for a data professional, cleaning is 80% of your work. Like cleaning is 80% of what will take your time, because data in its raw form it's very messy. It can be very messy. So you just have to do a bit of cleaning, either dropping empty rows or dropping empty columns, or just trying to pick the exact information that you want from data, and leave and dropping the rest. So after cleaning and okay, you want to create your visualization, what are the tips that you have to keep in mind to creating visualization? The first one will be choose the right chart and graph for the job. So it's not a one size fits all. You can use bar charts to showcase all the kind of data that you want. So the charts that you select needs to be carefully considered, and you have to pick a visualization. You have to pick a visualization that shows the story that you're trying to tell. Because keep in mind that when you're creating data visuals, when you're creating visualization, you're not just creating charts and graphs or maps. You're trying to tell a story. You're trying to communicate to your audience. So you have to pick the right charts that will best tell your story and to answer key questions that are generated by data. So sometimes even connecting related charts is helpful. Yeah. and it can fuel deeper exploration when you can drill down um, into years, and this chart is connecting to this, and when you click this is affecting is causing an interaction in the second chart. So, and this can give deeper exploration and can lead to helpful business insights and answers that are data informed. So what are the popular form of charts that we have? The popular form of chart that I'm sure everybody has seen at one point or the other would be bar charts. And bar charts are effective for at comparing categories. So when you're trying to compare categories within a single measure, one of the most common data visualization that you can use is bar chart, and they're especially effective when you have data that are split into multiple categories. So, and line graph. So line graph connects several distinct data points. So it connects them and present them in a continuous evolution. So for instance, when you're trying to show stuff like year data, year on year, a change, line graph is a good way to show like that, either the ups and downs that is happening. So it's a simple and straightforward way of to visualize changes from one value to the other. And for Instagram and Boxplot show where your data is clustered. So it shows the spread of your data. It shows where either most of your data points maybe they have high value, or most of them have low value, those kind of stuff. And it can also help you to compare categories. Maps, when you want to use maps are no they are mainly for visualizing location specific questions. When you're trying to answer location specific questions, that's when you use map. When you want to visualize something like, okay, in Alaska, or how many transactions took place in Alaska compared to New York, you can visualize that with maps shows it aids geographical exploration at a glance. And though pie charts maybe I'm a bit biased towards pie chart, because pie chart shows they are measure of a whole, and most people don't use them in the right format. So I think that's why for beginners I wouldn't really advise just using pie chart like anyhow. So but pie charts are powerful. They are powerful adding detail when you want to show um a fraction of for instance sales in let's say sales in like three products. You're trying to compare three products and you want to see the one to the highest sale. Pie charts can help you to show the product that has the highest pie, that has the largest pie, sorry, that has the largest pie, that has the largest share of the pie. So that's easy to just okay, oh wow, this product, oh, is the one that is getting sold the most. So but they are not as effective if they are just used on their own. They're always more compelling when they are used with other visualization. So, and the second thing is color. When you are telling data story, tell data stories with clear color cues. So for somebody that is trying to create data visualization, you have to keep in mind that okay, if you're working for a company and you want to create visualizations for them, make sure that the number one rule is your color should be uniform. Your dashboard or your visual should not have purple, then yellow, then green, then blue. Keep it simple. Use a uniform color theme, and you can also so the color, to inform your choice of color, you can pick the company color that you're working for. And make sure you use a single color to represent. If you are trying to represent the same type of data, use a single color. So for instance, if you are trying to show sales by months, month over month, you can use a, and on a bar chart you can use a single color. But when you are trying to compare last year sales, last year profits to this year profits, or last year price to this year price, then in a grouped chart, in a group bar chart, you will have to use like a different color for each year, so that it's more compelling, it's more eye-catching like that. So color is important. It can convey so much without using words. So there's a delicate balance when you are using color. So keep it simple. Keep it simple as possible. Only use color to highlight and your information. Too much colors will it can become too much color will create chaos, and it's not a good uh, it does not show that you are a professional. Yeah. So color association matters. For instance, when you are trying to show decline in price point for this particular cryptocurrency, you should not use green, because the human mind goes to, okay, when there's decline, it's red that you show, yes. So for that kind of thing, just make sure that, okay, for decline you are using red. Maybe for profit or for increase in price can use green. Yeah, so for maybe if you are dealing with temperatures, you can use red for heat, then blue for cold. So human beings are wired in that form, and because we are visual creatures. So how you use colors has a serious effect on how your audience are able to digest your visualization. The third tip that we'll be talking about will be applying text carefully and intentionally. Not applying, you don't just apply texts randomly, or on any on just maybe you're putting on top of. So the text that should be with your visualization, make sure that you have an heading, a bold heading. Your heading needs to be bold, so that at a glance, when people first look at your visualization, okay, they understand that, okay, this is what you are talking about. Okay, this visualization is about Ethereum. This visualization is about food. This visualization is about, yeah, stuffs like that. And also, um you have to apply design fundamentals. So I know that, okay, you said, but I'm a data analyst, I'm a data scientist, I'm a visualization engineer. Do I really need to learn design? And you don't need to know design the way UI UX designers know design, or the way product designers know design. But you have to keep design you have to keep design thinking fundamentals in at the back of your mind. Design. So when you are design thinking, means that one of the rules of design thinking is that you are putting your audience at the forefront. You are considering your audience when you're trying to present your visuals, or when you're trying to present your data. Okay, you're thinking, okay, are my audience executives? The people that I'm showing my visualization to, are they executives? Many executives, they don't have time. They don't want you to show. So for executives, you need to be brief. So your visualization needs to be brief and catching. So, and but this differs now when, if you are presenting to a sales, for like the sales department, then you can go into detail. You can go more in depth. Yeah. So so yeah, when we're talking charts, do not just have charts everywhere on your dashboard. Be intentional about what you are keeping on your dashboard. It needs to be important. It needs to be touching a pain point. It should not just be there for the sake of it being there. So and so when you have to keep your so that brings us to keeping your visualization simple. Keep it as simple as possible, and it should be something that even if someone does not have any idea of what you're talking about or any idea of the data that you work with, they should be able to understand the information that you're trying to convey. Because there's a 5 second rule to visualization, that at a glance, within 5 seconds, information should be passed to the audience. The audience should be able to pick information at a glance in 5 seconds. If your audience have to ask you that, okay, what is your data? What's this visual saying? Then maybe you have not communicated your visualizations the right way. So another tip will be examining business insights. So this is when you're trying to solve a problem, because creating visualizations, as I said, is not just for the sake of, oh, I want to create something fine. You need to answer questions. You are trying to use your data to solve problems. You are trying to use it to recommend solutions. You are trying to use it for investigative purposes. So so you have to look at, okay, what am I what business insights am I trying to solve? So this when you examine the business insights or the business insights that you're trying to gain from your data, it will help you in the plots that you're in, the visualizations that you're creating, the type of visualizations that you're creating. So, for example, now when you're if the what you are supposed to address is sales, you cannot start plotting visualizations for profits, or start plotting without making any reference to sale or why sales is going down. Well, you are showing visualizations for color of a product. So yeah, so we have gone through the tips on how to create outstanding visualization, and that brings us to the end of our section. And I'm going to end with this. Data analysts, data scientists, data professionals have long found value in creating valuable insights from historical data. And blockchain has exposed us to new and reliable data to drive business strategy. So blockchain technology is more than a way to store data. It is a new method of storing validated data and transaction information in a trusted repository. So blockchain has the potential to disrupt businesses as we know it, and in the process provide a rich new source of behavioral data. And to best leverage the value that blockchain can give you, to best leverage the value that blockchain can offer, you need to be familiar with blockchain technology, how it stores this data, and how you can extract and analyze this data. So whether you are currently an analyst now, or you're a data scientist, or you're just somebody generally curious about um, data, blockchain data, what I would say and what I will leave you with is blockchain technology is serving a lot of use, and it is not going anywhere. And I would like us all to keep it in mind that it's really a field that it's exciting, it's relatively new, so there's a lot of opportunity to learn and to gain knowledge and also to grow. So I hope that everybody here and has learned one or two things. And thank you for joining to this question. So if you have any question, yeah, this is the question and answer part of our section.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aminat, for such a wonderful session. Thank you so much for explaining so much, and your visuals were amazing,
Thank
concise
you.
and precise. So thank you so much. And I think we have a lot of like already people who have started asking questions. Do you want to take those up? It's on the chat.
Okay, yes, yes, yes.
So Nyon asked, "What's the difference between decentralization and distributed systems?"
Okay, so this decentralization means that it is not controlled by an entity. Not one person has ownership of it, or not one person can control it. It is different from distributed in that distributed distributed networks can be in different places, but they can be controlled by one entity. They can be controlled by a company. They can be controlled by one person. But that's the major difference between when we say something is decentralized and when something is distributed. So I hope I answered the first question.
Yeah, that was actually an amazing answer. I mean, I was also thinking about differences, but I think you nailed it. Thank you. And the next one is by Rokyo. So it's like by analyzing and visualizing blockchain data, can one find, for example, who is asking for a ransomware or who has more mining power?
Mm-mm. So to analyze that or get information on that, you need to look at validators. So this is where I shared in my slide. I shared link to network trackers. So like Etherscan now, they don't only have details of wallets that transfer from one wallet to another. They also have details of like, okay, the node where the transaction was performed and the validator where it's coming from. So that can give you can look at things like that to get insight on what you want.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jean, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, said, "Thank you, Aminat. Very thought provoking, interested, and hopeful by the transparency, immutability of blockchain." Do you think governments are eager to adapt to blockchain, or are they not ready or interested? Also, is there any vulnerability to the immutability element? Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to answer the first question of are governments eager to adapt to blockchain? The first thing I would say it's not my own government. The Nigerian government outrightly banned cryptocurrency transactions in Nigeria. So if your bank finds out that you're making any cryptocurrency, like your account is like your bank account is gone. So I know that there are some governments that are not very um open to the idea because they say, oh, it's a scam. People are using it for scamming activity or what is it? They don't even understand like the technology. And I think the reason why they're so resistant to it is because it disrupts their existing system, the existing system that we have. And I mentioned, I used Western Union as an example. So the government, they know that, okay, these are systems that they have in place. This is how things happen. Then you're not telling me that, okay, maybe the fee that we are making from this will not get it again. So yeah, they are not very. So yeah, there are some governments that are open to blockchain technology, but not all. So, but I do hope that they do. I do hope that they embrace it with open mind, as it is here to stay and it is not going anywhere. So, and is there any vulnerability to the mutability elements of blockchain? No. Blockchain is completely and airlocked immutable. So I'm going to use an example of how this immutability it can be a good thing and it can be a slightly disturbing part. So there's one NFT project that launched, and because of an error in their code in their smart contract, their their funds got locked, meaning the conditions that were stipulated because of the error in the code, it means that it will never be met, and meaning that their fund is going to stay logged forever in that contract, and there's no way they can have access to it again because it is immutable. That data that they have shipped is forever. So like millions in fund is gone. Yeah. So for you to know that, that's to see like the extent of how completely immutable it is, and that's why there's also because we're having technologies like this, that's also giving opportunities for people that are code reviewers, for testers, blockchain testers. Is your code meeting? Have we tested like all the possible situations, all the possible scenarios? Because it was one a particular scenario that crashed the code to the point where funds got locked. So that's yeah, so it brings exciting opportunities for everybody. Yeah.
That's a great answer, actually. I feel like, I didn't know so much about it, and now I'm learning so much more. So thank you with that
Yeah.
example as well. And yeah, I think like that is it with all the questions. But yeah, Amina, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything else you want to chime in?
Yeah. So, well, my closing thoughts will be it does not matter where you currently are, but if you are someone that is passionate about data and you see yourself working with data one day, I think you should look into blockchain because this is this is the largest and most transparent form of data that you ever get. And even financial systems, current financial system, banks don't have cannot give you this kind of access to millions of transactions globally all happening at once in real time. So yeah, that's my closing thoughts. Go out there and be a blockchain data venture. Yeah.
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 Thank you so much, Aminat, and thank you so
Thank
much
you.
everyone
Thank
for
you for
joining
calling.
in. And Aminat, do check out all the comments that people left. I think like they
Yeah,
really
I'll
loved
do
your
that.
talk. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for
Yeah,
taking out the
thank you,
time.
Asma. Thank you everyone for joining.
Bye
Bye.
bye.